banned. Let me explain why. Ma'am, we all agree that life is precious. Then how can we allow a law that lets someone else take it away? Article 3 of the UDHR says clearly everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of a person. It does not say everyone has the right to be killed when life gets hard. So, ma'am, my fellow speakers say euthanasia is a human right. Sorry, ma'am, but even UN disagrees. Let me bring up some real facts. Ma'am, in Canada, after they legalized euthanasia, people were offered death instead of care. Yes, ma'am, a Canadian army veteran with PTSD was actually told to consider euthanasia instead of getting proper help. This is not kindness. This is giving up on people. And I know some of my friends here will say, "Oh, but there are like what rules and checks." Okay, then why did Belgium allow a 23-year-old girl who had been through a sexual assault to die by euthanasia just because she had a trauma? Ma'am, she was not dying from any illness. She needed therapy, not a death certificate. So when people say euthanasia is just a choice, I asked, what do they really mean? Or are they just like what trying to make murder sound soft? Now let me point out something my opponents always gets wrong. They talk about consent as if everyone who chooses euthanasia is thinking clearly. Ma'am, the UN Special Rapporteur on the Rights of a Person with Disabilities said in 2021 many people, especially disabled people, feel pressured into choosing death. Again, feel pressured into choosing death. Why? Because they feel like a burden. Is that really a free choice or just a society telling them that their life is not worth living? Ma'am, they say this is about dying with dignity, but dignity doesn't come from death. It comes from getting proper care, support, and love. To end, I'll just say a universal ban on euthanasia doesn't mean we are cruel. It means that we are careful. It means we don't give people poison when what they really need is hope. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I still have put. Okay, now. 1 second. Okay, Jen, 1 second. Okay, Jen, do you want to start on the countdown? Do you want me to give you a countdown?
No. Is my timer visible to you guys, right?
No. Anyways, I'm gonna keep a timer right now. 2:30.
2 minute 30 second.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh, just a second, ma'am. Um,
Yep.
I would start on my self count of three, two, and one.
Oh.
Good evening, Judge and my dear opponent Pranag. We stand here to strongly oppose the motion because we believe that no law should force a person to suffer endlessly when relief is possible. Let's be clear. We are not advocating for reckless decisions or shortcuts to death. We are advocating for choice, dignity, and compassion, especially for those facing terminal illness, unbearable pain, and no hope of recovery. Let me bring up a real story. Brittany Manor, a 29-year-old woman from US, was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. She knew what was coming: seizures, memory loss, total dependence, and an inevitable painful death. With full awareness and family support, she chose physician associated under Oregon's law. She didn't choose death out of weakness. She chose it to avoid meaningless suffering. Should that be banned? Now, some argue palliative care is enough. But there's the truth. Even with the best care, 5 to 10% of terminally ill patients still experience uncontrollable pain, breathlessness, or loss of dignity. Countries like Canada and Belgium, that you mentioned, and Netherlands allow euthanasia under strict legal safeguards, multiple doctor approvals, psychological evaluation, informed consents, and guess what? A 2020 study in the Journal of Medical Ethics found no significant increase in abuse or coercion in these countries. Opposing euthanasia is in every context. Universally banned it means removing the freedom of a suffering individual to decide their own end, even when the choice is made carefully, rationally, and under medical supervision. This debate is not about whether life matters. We know that it does. But dignity in death matters too. And when someone is dying in pain and has no way out, they deserve more than just our sympathy. They deserve our respect for their choices. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, wait one second. Rebuttal speeches are 1 minute 30 seconds. Leonard, would you like to go? Would you like to start?
Chair, in rebuttal speeches, the opposition goes first.
Wait, wait. Did I say the wrong person? Oh yeah, Jen. What? Oh.
Okay, I would start on my self count of three, two, and one. Thank you, dear judge, for giving me the first opportunity to speak in the rebuttal speeches. My opponent brought up the case of a 23-year-old woman in Belgium who sought euthanasia after psychological trauma. It's a tragic story, and we acknowledge that. But we must be careful not to reduce one rare, emotionally charged case to a reason of banning euthanasia globally. Here's what they didn't mention. In Belgium, mental health based euthanasia requires approval from at least three doctors, including a psychiatrist, and thorough review. It's not taken lightly, it's rare and reviewed case by case. If there was failure, the solution is better regulation, not universal ban. Regarding Canada, yes, there are concerns. That's why reforms are underway, and even Canadian lawmakers are revising MAID to protect vulnerable groups. That's the right response. Adjust and improve, not outlaw a fundamental right. And finally, the UN expressed concern, not a call for ban. They urge stronger safeguards, not the removal of individual autonomy. Let's fix the system, not erase the right to choose what we need to choose. Pranad?
Okay, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
finished under time, like 10 seconds were left,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, correct. 1 second.
Chair, I'm audible, yes?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'll start on my self count of three, two, one. My opponents say they're not promoting reckless death, just choice. But choice without proper support is not freedom, it's pressure. When someone feels like a burden to their family, to the hospital, to the system, they may choose death not because they want to die, because they think they don't deserve to live. That's not a free choice, that's silent suffering, and your laws give it a legal stamp. They also mentioned Brittany Maynard, a 29-year-old from US who chose euthanasia. I respect her story, but laws cannot be made based on one emotional example. For every Brittany, there are hundreds who change their mind after getting proper palliative care and mental health support. So, do we change the law because a few feel it's needed, or do we just protect the lives of many who could be saved? They say 5 to 10% of patients still feel pain even with the best care. That means 90 to 95% can be helped. So, why is your solution legalize killing instead of improving the care system for 5%? Pain can be treated, death cannot be reversed. Now, Belgium and Canada were used as examples of good euthanasia laws. But, ma'am, in Canada, disabled veterans were offered death instead of treatment. In Belgium, a 23-year-old girl who suffered a trauma was given euthanasia not because she was dying, because she was depressed. So let's not stop. Let's stop pretending that law is always clean. It's not. These are not models. They are warning. Finally, they say a universal ban would take people's right to die. But,
It's
ma'am, we don't
done.
allow suicide, even if.
Time's done.
Yeah, sorry. Ma'am,
Time's done.
I'm just concluding. I'm just concluding.
Okay, one sentence.
Okay, but ma'am, we don't allow suicide even if someone wants it. Why? Because life is precious and the law must protect it, not give up on it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Jen?
Yeah, so there's question around, right?
Yes, there is a question and answer.
So should I start with my questions?
Yeah, you do. Okay.
So, firstly, as Pranad mentioned, the story of 23-year-old girl from Belgium, she was suffering from depression. And if you are not aware, in Belgium, three doctors' consent is mandatory if even you are suffering from a mental illness. And after that, she got approval of three doctors because her depression was so badly making her feel that she wanted to do suicide. So instead of suiciding, like a person is afraid of death, suicides, not a person who is afraid of living suicides. So my
Sir,
question
I
to you
don't
would
understand
be,
the question. He just like what? He
Yeah,
gave
reword the
a
yeah,
question.
30-second speech,
Reword the question.
which is not allowed as in POIs, right? POIs are short.
Exactly.
you say
Give the
euthanasia
question
is
in a
about,
concise manner.
yeah,
Give the question in a concise manner. One or two sentences max.
could you repeat, Kyle?
Give the question in a concise manner, like one or two sentences max. You can hear me clearly, right? No?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay, so my question to Pranad would be, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. What is the question?
If life is truly sacred or if life is truly important, who decides when it's no longer worth living? Doctors, families, or societies? Should that terrify us?
Okay. Yeah, Pranav, you can answer. The POIs will be 30 seconds reply speeches. Once again.
Could you please repeat what?
Jayant, repeat it.
So my question was, who should decide you would die? Either it's you, the society, or the doctors. Death is in your hands. You know when to die. So why banning euthanasia and taking the taking the right to death with dignity from people who are suffering from incurable diseases or are in coma from a long period of time?
Pranav, did you get the question?
I don't get. Could you
Okay,
please just like
so
what repeat it?
yeah, so basically what he's trying to say is that the individual, do you think the individual should have the choice or do you think someone else should decide for them? So basically that's what he's asking, right, Jayant?
To die.
Yeah, he's asking like,
Okay, so first of all, there shouldn't be a choice that you
wait,
should be dead
30
according
seconds.
what?
Wait, okay, I'll just start the timer. Yeah, reply.
Okay, first of all, there shouldn't be a what a choice that you should die, because there are like various examples which I already mentioned in my previous speeches, that people are just as your flawed argument that the people who can't just recover from diseases, etc. There are proper facts. There are like we should give them palliative care instead of letting them die, and choosing that you should just die, because in the examples which I gave, like Canada.
It's
Yes.
done.
Yep. Okay. Never mind. Yes.
Okay.
I just have a
Just
question for
finish the
Jayant.
last sentence. In Canada?
No, no. I'm just done.
Okay. That would have. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Pranav, you could ask the question now.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question. Okay. Sir, in Canada, a veteran was offered euthanasia because treatment for PTSD was too costly, which you never mentioned in your speech. If euthanasia is truly about personal choice, why are governments offering death instead of care? Is that freedom or just medical cost cutting disguised as mercy, according to you?
Okay, Jayant, you have 30 seconds. Did you get the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can reply right now. Yeah.
So Pranad is picking up cases, one in a billion cases, which have came up and talking about those veterinary thing. The government offered them euthanasia because the government even wasn't having that kind of treatment or that kind of technology to treat the person or to treat the veterinary lady, I guess you mentioned, right?
Yep. The time's done.
Yeah.
Okay. So there would be one more round. Jayant, you can ask now another question. Two questions each. Jayant, bro, one second.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, would you like to ask the question?
Who
Yeah.
are you asking?
Yeah, ask the question. He didn't ask it yet.
So you mentioned that UN has expressed concerns about euthanasia law, but did they call for a universal ban, or did they emphasize stronger safeguards and respect for patients' autonomy?
Did you get the question, Pranav?
Could you please repeat? I was not able to hear him.
Jayant, could you
So the
repeat?
question, yeah. So the question is, you mentioned that UN has expressed concerns about euthanasia laws, but did they call for a universal ban, or did they emphasize stronger safeguards and respect for patients' autonomy?
Delegate, that's the whole reason why
This is
are we
a debate, not
debating
a
right
moon.
now. Delegate, that is the whole sorry, not a delegate. Okay,
Yeah,
my
this is a
respectful
debate.
opponent. My respectful opponent, that's the reason why are we debating right now with proper facts, etc., that it should be universally banned. It doesn't mean that if it has not been banned earlier, we shouldn't ban it right now. Thank you.
You didn't
Okay.
got my question.
Yeah, you didn't get his question, but it's okay. That's what he chose to answer. So, okay. So, one second, let me just tally it up real quick. I'll just announce the result. 7 plus 5.
Wait, I would also have a chance to ask a question, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Last question.
I just had a question.
Yeah. So you can ask Jayant
Okay.
last question.
The Yes, the UN Special Rapporteur on Disability Rights warned in 2021 that euthanasia laws are dangerous for the disabled because they often feel pressured to die. Why does your side ignore UN reports and that show euthanasia puts marginalized lives at risk?
Did you get the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, firstly, we are not ignoring UN reports, but we are in favor of UN reports, as UN is strictly mentioning about stronger safeguards and respect for patients' autonomy, and they are emphasizing on these in euthanasia law, not calling for an universal ban.
Wait, what? Repeat the answer? I couldn't hear you properly. Sorry, my net is bad right now.
So my answer to his question was, we are not ignoring UN's concerns and UN's reports, as UN is emphasizing stronger safeguards and respect for patients' autonomy in euthanasia law itself. They are not calling for a universal ban or a ban on euthanasia.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's it. One second. Let me just get my book and tally it real quick. Okay. Okay, so Pranat got 16 points while Jayant got 14. So Pranat wins this round. Euthanasia will be banned. Okay. So do any of you guys want
Share
feedback?
personal feedback. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So for your case, your replies were actually slightly mediocre than last time. Last time we got it was about like isolation rooms or some. I remember last time your replies were like much better than this, and the questions you asked actually favored the opponent side more rather than your side. Questions should be framed in a way that it traps an opponent, but yours did not do that. It gave an opponent an advantage, and he used it correctly. So that was your,
Okay, cool. Yes.
yeah, you get that. And in your speeches, I would have liked you to mention the UN law that you told in the question right now. That would have been like more concise, the method. So basically, I do 3Ms for judging, and you would have gotten a bit higher in your method if you said that. So, since your debate was like that showed that your debate was not planned properly, like your speech was not planned properly. And for you lost the most marks in manner because your voice was just there was not much intonation in it this time. Last time there was a lot more intonation than I remember this time. So the intonation
Okay,
was
sir.
not there, the emphasis was not there. You're talking about deaths, about euthanasia. There should be like a bit more emphasis on when, like the specific words. You get it right. We are talking about
Yes.
murder. So there should be a bit more emotion rather than it being all logistical. There is three parts of debating. There is the emotions, there is the logic, and there's the trust in the speaker. So you failed on the emotions this time, and that's why Pranay got the advantage. Pranay, do you need personal feedback?
Wait, this was for Jayant?
Yeah, this was for Jayant.
Okay, so I also need a personal feedback. I
Ah,
don't know.
okay. In yours, what I like specifically saw was that you forgot to define what euthanasia was. If I was in James' place, what would I do is that I would have said euthanasia is called mercy killing, and they do not kill people with like depressed people. They don't kill depressed people. They kill only like terminally ill patients. I would have said that, and that would have like rebuked your argument fully. Like your first part of the speech would have been gone if Jayan said that. And so that's why your method, you got only 4 marks in that. So that's the problem. Your matter was good. The speeches were like good. That the what you had in your speeches was good. So basically, mainly you failed on like the definitions and like the method, like planning of the speeches. Other than that, you did
Yep,
good.
okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yep, works.
Any
Thank you.
specific part? Any specific part? Okay. If not, I'll end the
About me,
meetings.
what
Yeah.
was the last time? Are you
With
talking about the Shark Tank, right?
last thing. No, that was like another daily debate I conducted. The isolation rooms one. The
Which
drug
one?
consumption rooms.
Oh, okay.
That one. And that one you were like much more veteran than this one. But we all have the ups and
Okay.
downs. Don't like take it too personal. Okay, is that done? Because the meeting's gonna end in less than 1 minute. If you want any more personal feedback, you could just ask in the group. Works?
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Yes, thank
or
you, sir.
if you want like more detailed personal feedback, I could do another meet right now. Like another Zoom call. Like I could create a new one. Do you want that? No, right?